What's up, guys, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the big news this week, which is the Kyle Lowry trade. For Raptor fans, this is really sad because, as we know, Kyle Lowry has been with the Raptors since 2012 after being traded here, and he's been with the team for a while. He's considered the greatest Raptor of all time. He was with us through championship. He was one of the last players who was on that 2019 roster. I think there's only 3 guys left now in Fred VanVleet, OG, and Siakam. And Kyle Lowry, of all of them, was the best Raptor. So it sucks to see him go. Sorry about my voice, by the way. I'm feeling a little sick, but today we're just going to go into it. We're doing a raw video. We're going to talk about the DeRozan trade. We're going to talk about the Lowry trade and whether or not we could see sort of grading that package that the Raptors got in return, and also talking about what we think the Raptors' future is looking like, because it's not looking bright in terms of next season's projections, but down the line, I think there is a lot of opportunity for Toronto to become a really good team. We saw them draft Scotty Barnes. We're seeing them build younger. There's still a move to be made by Masai Ujiri by waiving Baines, Paul Watson Jr. They're making room available on this team, and it's not just for these young guys coming in. They're going to be most likely making a trade where you sell one guy for multiple pieces. My guess is Pascal Siakam. We will see what happens. I still think the Warriors, Kings are a couple of teams we could see making a move for Pascal Siakam. That makes a lot of sense. But first of all, let's just talk about the Toronto Raptors, right? And for them, losing Kyle Lowry is a lot of sentimental value lost because he's a player that's been with the team, like I said, for a long time. And, you know, Kyle Lowry is a staple of Toronto Raptors play. He's got heart, he's got determination. He's going to be a perfect fit in Miami next to his friend Jimmy Butler. He's getting a 3-year, somewhere around $58.5 million contract, reportedly. And the trade return, apparently, according to Sports Illustrated and some other sources, is a package of Goran Dragic, Precious Achiuwa, and a second-round pick. So when you put all those together, it's actually a really good return for Kyle Lowry. A lot of fans are saying it's bad, it's dog shit, whatever you guys are saying, it's cap. Okay, you guys are lying because you don't understand how a sign and trade works, and you don't realize that when you make a trade for a player that's not on your roster anymore, who's an unrestricted free agent, could sign anywhere, getting anything back in return is a win. Right? We saw what happened with Kawhi Leonard, Serge Ibaka, Marc Gasol. These guys left for nothing. So the fact that you're getting something back for Lowry is really big. A big reason why is because Lowry didn't want to take a pay cut. It's more his choice than the team's choice. But you're getting Precious Achiuwa back, a young player. You're getting Goran Dragic, a point guard who's going to actually have some value at the trade deadline. A player we saw lead the Miami Heat in scoring in the playoffs, or at least for multiple rounds. He was just an absolute bucket, amazing until he had that injury. Last year was a write-off for Miami. Now they've added Kyle Lowry. They've added Morris. They've added so much toughness to this team that I think they're a contender automatically. There's no question about that. Let's talk about quickly DeMar DeRozan. I just don't get this move for him in his career. Why doesn't he go to a team where he can win a championship? Why don't you take a pay cut and go play with LA? I understand getting the bag. You're 32. You want to make some more money, but I think adding a title in your prime is really important for your legacy. Maybe he wants to set up his family more from where he came from. That makes sense to me too. But Chicago, I don't know. It's just that team's not going to be very good. They got Lonzo, you got Zach LaVine, DeRozan, Vucevic. I think they make the playoffs, but how interesting is that team? I don't know. But I'm just excited to see them on different teams. Going back to the Raptors for a little bit longer here, we're just going to talk about the implications of this trade for Toronto. They're in rebuild phase. That's the truth. They're not as good as the Nets. They're not as good as the Bucks. They're not as good as the Heat, the Sixers. The Raptors aren't that good. They're probably going to be looking at the 7 to 8 seed projection, in my opinion. Given the roster that they have, the players are going to likely still potentially move off of giving Fred VanVleet the reins and letting him make some mistakes, sort of like what we saw with Siakam this year. Lowry wasn't really there to bail him out. He was injured. He didn't really play a lot. And honestly, he was on the way out, so why play him a lot anyway? And for Toronto, I don't know. It's just going to be an interesting year. It's still going to be fun. You've got Scotty Barnes, who I'm going to do a separate episode on where I'm just going to completely talk about him, who he is, his draft profile. You know, you guys probably don't know a ton about him right now. Maybe you've watched a YouTube video, but I'm going to deep dive into Scotty Barnes, why I think Masai Ujiri picked him, and the implications of Pascal Siakam too in that, right? Because I've talked about this before. My expectation is Siakam gets traded, and the reason why is because We saw Scotty Barnes get drafted. I don't see them playing together on the same court. It's going to be an issue, especially if you have Khem Birch playing center, which let's hope that's who they end up taking, with Precious maybe playing backup minutes. And Precious is going to be a really good player in the NBA. If you haven't watched him, he's a rim runner. He's athletic. He's very Bam Adebayo light. He's similar to him in that way. And he's going to be a really good asset for Toronto, especially considering they need a center, especially in the bench rotation. I want to still see Khem Birch start, a veteran, a guy experienced. Similar situation to Precious, you know, a guy that had to work his way up to become a good player in the league, wasn't given everything right away. And I think Precious can be that. He's just got to have more time to develop. And coming off the bench is the perfect role where it's not too much pressure. He can learn to adjust to his rotation, to the role, to playing with Nick Nurse and these other guys. And I think it'll just be an interesting team when you put all that together. Thank you guys for listening. Once again, this is another video. Sorry about my voice. I sound like shit, but it is what it is. I'm going to catch you guys on the next episode. Honestly, thank you, Kyle Lowry, for everything you did for Toronto. You are the greatest Raptor of all time, without a doubt. So many great memories of Kyle Lowry. We've got the pass to Kawhi and the dunk. We got the half-court shot, game winner against Cleveland, his celebration in the Eastern Conference Finals, celebration in the Finals. He's just got so many memories. Obviously, the huge game that he had in Game 6 of the NBA Finals as well to help clinch the Finals, clinch the title. You know, Kyle Lowry, we love you, and we love you forever. Thank you for listening. Peace out, everybody.